It's that time again, time for another disturbing list of films that you may have missed. These earth-shattering circumstances are weaved into films that will make you feel unsettled, and you may even lose hope in humanity. So if you like your storylines horrifically memorable, then strap in. I've got a bunch of fresh picks for you I've never mentioned before. And I'm warning you, these are fucked up movies. Make sure you check the content warnings if you have any issues, because I'm really not kidding. Don't come complaining, you have been warned. Let's start with Spider. Spider is a 2002 David Cronenberg film that is often forgotten. Starring Ralph Fiennes, we follow Spider, a full-grown man living in a halfway facility as he slips in and out of his traumatic childhood memories, revealing the devastations that turned him into the man he is today. It's a gentle film that lets itself slowly unravel, showing the inner workings of his mind and truly putting you in the shoes of someone who is painfully changed forever by their upbringing and surroundings. At the start of the film, Spider seems so far removed from reality, but by the end, due to Fiennes' chilling performance, we understand his deeply broken mind. If you're a fan of the 2018 stylistic dark drama Possum, this film runs many parallels to it, but it's from a different angle. And even from Cronenberg, it feels particularly grounded, unlike his other work, but it is disturbing in a whole new way, especially the harrowing conclusion. If you're in Australia, you can catch this one on SBS. How do you feel about Tim Roth? Well, if you haven't seen The War Zone yet, your opinions on him may change after a viewing, because although he doesn't star in disturbing thriller The War Zone, he is the director of this troubling film. The movie features Tilda Swinton, Ray Winstone, and has an appearance from Colin Farrell. But it's the children, Lara Belmont and Freddie Cunliffe, who give the standout performances. Based on the novel of the same name, the story starts when a mother in a seemingly close family gives birth to a healthy baby. And as this family adjusts to life with a newborn, as well as a sea change moving from London to the Devon countryside, they begin to struggle with their own individual battles. This is until one day, 15-year-old son Tom walks by a window and witnesses something that changes everything he thought about his family. This is one of those films I've seen the cover artwork for forever, but nothing could have prepared me. The upsetting family drama has moments so intense that it made me want to bleach my eyeballs. Honestly, I covered my eyes throughout part of this film. To top it all off, there is this strange juxtaposition between the graphic content and the peaceful countryside. It's like a silent scream that was always there, but once revealed seems so obvious and jarring. A family secret that goes straight for the jugular. This is the only film as of date to be directed by Tim Roth, and the way he captures the haunted story strikes quite a nerve. In fact, the mother and father in this film are only ever referred to as mum and dad. A choice made to double down on the twisted family dynamic, and if you watch this, do keep that in mind. Also, word of caution, when this film was screened at the Toronto International Film Festival, one viewer was so upset and devastated that he caused a scene and intended to pull the fire alarm. But Tim Roth, who was in attendance, intercepted him, and it took 20 minutes of intense conversation to calm him down. So don't come complaining if you watch it and you are very keen to pull your fire alarm. I kind of wouldn't blame you. This one is available to watch on Tubi in some countries. An assault revenge film with a huge difference. Extremities is a late 80s drama thriller starring Farrah Fawcett, and the film follows Marjorie, a woman who is attacked and assaulted by a masked man, and when she tries to go for help, the police's protocol shows immense gaps in the system. Scared for her life, she's on the edge, and for good reason, because she's about to encounter him again. This film is different from other rape revenge films. It doesn't show an assault in detail, but all of the details and excruciating moments surrounding it. It also reveals the trauma and desperation that drives survivors to do just that. Survive. And if you don't know what I mean, you will by the end of this film. Because I don't want to give away too much, this film unravels in such a strange way. It's an infuriating, detailed situation that acts as an allegory for a broken system and cycle of abuse. And although it's got some cheesy, low-budget 80s charm, it's well worth a watch for those to see a revenge story told differently. Interesting fact on this one, it is based off an off-Broadway play, and I think that would be a very hard watch. I can't can't imagine sitting in a room shoulder to shoulder with people watching this story unravel. This is one I won't be forgetting anytime soon, and I think it's a really good contender for a modern remake. You can also find this one on Tubi in some countries or on rental platforms. Speaking of different perspectives, I warned you guys, The Woodsman is an understated drama that is extremely challenging to watch. Kevin Bacon plays Walter, a child predator who returns to his hometown after being in prison for his crimes for 12 years. This film reveals his inner thoughts in ways that will make you sick to your stomach. It's a strange film that at times can be confusing with its messaging, especially its horrific end. The movie is meant to mirror the idea of Little Red Riding Hood and take a deep look at the wolf that's been exposed. But it's a slow-moving film that at times feels like a cautionary tale, and at other times lets the deafening silence take over as we reflect on some of the darkest sides of humanity without being able to interfere. You can find this one on Canopy, Prime, and Tubi in some countries. Have you ever heard of L.I.E from 2001? It stands for Long Island Expressway. The independent, deranged film has some big names including Brian Cox and Paul Dano. The film takes place in upper middle class America where teen Howie becomes closer to his peer Gary. Now Howie begins to develop bad habits, including breaking and entering, skipping school, and playing with guns. But things take a sharp turn to the point of no return when Gary's truth is revealed and Howie is introduced by him to a strange man in the neighborhood. The movie interweaves Howie's self-exploration of his sexuality with meeting pure evil, Brian Cox playing Big John, who is a predator. The film focuses on an elaborate cycle of grooming both emotionally and physically, and Howie is truly a unique character, a highly insightful soul who crumbles in these circumstances. The film brings a strange edge, showing the disturbing bond that forms between them, needing each other at this point of their lives. Brian Cox took on this role against the advice of many of his peers, including his agent. In an interview, he said, "I thought that this could be professional suicide. I knew people would shy away from it, but then I thought, what is my job if it's not to do things that are difficult? Otherwise, there's no point in doing it." There's no question that these are great performances by both Cox and Dano. These are two actors who 20 years later are still making interesting moves in their careers, but their chilling relationship in this film is one you'll never forget. This one is a little bit harder to find online, but you may be able to rent it on Amazon Prime in your country. This next film, again, I'm warning you, it's very raw and brutal, and it created a stir with its release and a devastating blow a decade later when crimes that came out of the film were revealed. Co-written and directed by Asia Argento, she also stars in this film alongside of the Sprouse twins and Jimmy Bennett. With appearances from Ben Foster, Winona Ryder, and Marilyn Manson, this is the bizarre and horrific story of Jeremiah, a boy born into dire circumstances. We follow him through his childhood and witness how he is failed and exploited by every single human being he comes in contact with. He experiences severe child abuse, neglect, and assault, and no matter what happens, it only seems to get worse. The film intercuts surrealist imagery instead of showing all of the heavy implied horrific moments. It's like Sean Baker meets Larry Clark, a raw look at middle America poverty and humans that thrive off evil motives. And it has a jarring ending that's a little bit of a nosedive, but for me, I won't be forgetting this film anytime soon. It's such an odd, disturbing piece of cinema that is rarely discussed. And looking into the background of the film, it gets even darker, as Argento was later accused by Bennett of assault, and there is evidence for an alleged payoff. This happened a decade after the film, when he was a minor at 17. He was 7 when he filmed the movie, and in the film, he is Asia's son. This was something I was not aware of when I was watching it, and it does make you wonder how someone could make a film about something so sick and twisted, only then to allegedly abuse that actor who was portrayed in the same way. You can find this one on rental platforms online like Vudu. Sorry for a bit of a downer, but I warned you, this is a disturbing list, and these are films I will not be forgetting anytime soon. Let me know how many you've seen on this list and your thoughts in the comments below. Stay safe and stay spooky.